Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is show number 50.
50
of Mousesteps Weekly.
And two more weeks until our 1-year anniversary.
And half of 100.
And we're sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Winter Garden, Florida.
Great place for your Disney collectible needs.
And Maple Leaf Tickets in Kissimmee, Florida.
Best deals on tickets in town.
And we're going to be talking first about the Animal Kingdom 15th anniversary.
Yes, we were both there on opening day, and I think we were both there pre-opening day.
I was there pre-opening day, which is why I didn't go in the morning on opening day, because I knew how crowded it was going to get, so I waited till sometime later in the afternoon.
And that was a smart move because it was packed that day.
The park gets busy easily.
And speaking of packed, during this little moment, the opening ceremony they had, it was packed.
Well, the reason is because they let everybody who was waiting to get into the park into this whole area. You know, like everybody who had been at the turnstiles was here.
And we were really close at the turnstiles, too, maybe 4 people back, but we still ended up about halfway back in the mob when we first walked in.
And I was on the bridge because I am fairly short, right. And I want to make sure I had an elevated spot.
Luckily, it wasn't all that to see. It was just an okay opening ceremony.
It was not that great.
The best part is coming up, the Earth Day
Ball.
Ball.
No, that wasn't the best part.
I liked the Earth Day Ball.
The best part I thought was the Circle of Life being sung.
Well,
I thought
they were still
part.
singing it when they brought the ball out, you see. So here is nothing says fun like throwing the earth around, bouncing
I don't remember it being there, but
yes,
interesting. It never came to me.
Also, they had a special Earth Day cupcake.
I actually thought it was the other cupcake, the one that looked more like a cow.
Yeah, but no, it was the potted plant and gummy worm cupcake, which of course we didn't get to try, but we heard it was delightful from our friend the
Boutet.
Boutet, yes, the Boutet.
They sold out quick.
So that big line we saw before was for the Earth Day cookie decorating at the Pizzafari.
And they had it was free, and they had free, and they had quite a few boxes. A lot of guests were able to get in on it, including us. I didn't make mine until later in the day after I sort of burned out.
Right, at the restaurant Asaurus, I believe.
And there's my cookie.
There is your creation right there.
You can tell I didn't try too hard. I was just...
Oh, and here's some of the limited edition merchandise, a limit of 50 on the phone case.
And here are some of the pins, or one of the pins.
Yes, this was a limited of 2,000.
And this is a shirt. Did you get that one?
I did. I actually got that shirt.
I resisted all merchandise, didn't spend a penny.
You are the smart one in the family, that's for sure.
I didn't like the logo as much this year, so that, again, saved us a few shekels.
Yes. So the next special event that happened that day was Mickey's Jammin' Jungle Parade with a limited time magic bonus.
And you said it was called Character Reunion, which I didn't know.
Yeah, it's the Character Reunion, and here are some of the characters, the rare characters you don't normally see.
Now, Coda and Kenai, we were told, actually do meet in California at a breakfast at the Disney's Grand Californian, but not here. We haven't seen them in a long time.
And here is Thumper and Miss Bunny. Very rarely see them, although we just saw them around Easter time.
And they used to, not that long ago, they used to meet in Camp Mini Mickey.
Now, you really didn't know who these guys were until we saw Brother Bear when we were doing the Blu-ray review.
Just about 3 weeks ago.
So that was very fortunate. We had that chance. Oh, and there is Lilo and Stitch.
And Pocahontas.
And I believe her friend Miko will be making an appearance very soon.
He's just around the corner. Feel like the Macy's Day Parade here.
There he is.
And we have Doug over here. And Flick and Princess Ada.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see all these characters again, but it would be nice if this was a daily thing and not a limited time magic only.
I agree. I mean, we're not really sure how many of these characters are normally at the end of the parade. Is it 6 or 8 extra characters?
There's quite a few extra characters.
But that's what makes it special.
But
limited time magic bonus goodness.
I think it should be special every day.
Well, speaking of special, this dance party for the Planet, was extra special on this day.
And we have so many characters coming out. Again, you have Flick and Princess Ada. There had been a rain, so some of the characters hadn't come out for the second set. So instead, they just had extra characters.
Come out, right. It was a barrage of characters. And here come the bears, the Brother Bears, and Lilo and Stitch.
And I had mentioned I didn't even know who Coda and Kenai were. A month ago I probably didn't know who they were.
But everybody's loving it. Everybody's having so much fun. And they're really getting down. I mean, this is probably the best dance party I've ever seen with the characters before.
I'm not a big dance party fan, but I do love characters. I think growing up I was not really into characters. So now I'm I'm sort of living my childhood in that sense.
Exactly. And look at this. Thumper is really thumping along here. I mean, check it out.
Well, obviously the rain did them good. They got a little break.
Very energetic dance party. There was a lot of energy after this 15th anniversary day.
And here comes Timon, Rafiki, and Turk. I think there was probably like 12 characters out at one time.
At one point, the DJ said there was more characters than guests.
Which wasn't true. I mean,
well,
there was a lot of guests.
Slightly exaggerated, but...
and I know you liked getting the photos with the characters.
Right. It was a little bit difficult because, as you can see here, they often had to stop and sign the autographs. So, it would have been kind of cool if they had the little stamp they had at the Nickelodeon Hotel.
Or autograph
Did you see that at the Nick Hotel?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, we'll get to that later, but...
I think it's okay because, especially for the third set, when you have like 12 characters out, eventually you get to it's not as bad.
There's our friend Jenny dancing with Stitch, getting down there.
I don't know what this dance is. I don't know like any dance.
Well, it's probably a slide of some kind.
I don't know any slide. I think I did a cha-cha slide.
Well, that's one of your most enduring features that you don't know. I like someone who does not know a slide.
I know more cha-cha slide than I know electric slide.
But speaking of dance fever, this character here, Kanai, was especially getting into it, and our friend Robert Bearden from Mickey Updates was watching, and it was just killing him to see the bear.
Did he say it was killing him?
Yes, he was like, "Oh, it's a dancer! I gotta go! I can't hold back." So you'll see him. He jumps in and has a dance off here.
I can't watch.
No. It's fantastic. And
Jeff didn't know he had those moves, right?
No, I've known him for a while, and he actually is a very good dancer. He was schooled. Kanai has been schooled. Make sure you watch the actual video with the music. We'll link to that in the show notes. It is it is very, very good. But it was also a great way to end off a very fun time for Animal Kingdom's 50th
and
anniversary.
I missed it, but I got to see it on video.
Also new this week, actually debuting yesterday, was the Monsters University Monsterail.
And this is part of the Monstrous Summer that Walt Disney World is now promoting, which will include changes to the Monsters, Inc. laugh floor. It will be based during the Monsters University years.
Correct, the time frame of that movie, which is a prequel.
And also at Disney's Hollywood Studios, you'll have their Mike and Sully's permanent meet and greet. They'll be in their college outfits, and there'll be the display will be Monsters University.
So I think that'll be very cool. I look forward to that. As far as the monorail goes, I think it's a little weak compared to the fully wrapped monorails we've seen lately.
Well, my favorite was the Tron monorail. I think it was very nicely done. I liked the Avengers. I liked Iron Man. This one, again, as you say, weak. It just looks like somebody slapped some stickers on it instead of really wrapped it to look nice and sleek.
Yeah, I think we've been sort of spoiled with all the cool monorails and things of that nature.
I actually like the monorail wraps. I know not everybody does.
It's all the tip. When they paint the tip, it makes the whole, and the back tip.
I didn't know.
It makes the monorail look like a whole new monorail. I'd like to see a fleet of those fully wrapped painted monorails.
I would actually
because they look
okay
very
with that.
different. Where this looks from a distance, you don't even know, right?
Next, we headed to a media event at Nickelodeon's Suites Resort. It's SpongeBob's Bikini Bottom breakfast at the Nicktoons Cafe.
And I was really excited because we've lived here in the area for a while and have never had a chance to check out the Nickelodeon Resort, and it's really cool.
It is. This is really a great resort for kids, and I thought the breakfast also was.
Mr. Krabs!
Mr. Krabs.
I had no idea who a lot of these characters were before this day, but now I know them all, and Mr. Krabs can dance.
I know you said like a Bearden.
He can dance like the guy we saw earlier with Kanai, so he is very good.
And there's actually, it seemed like 2 different shows, and they happen on the half hour, so every 20 minutes or so you get a show.
So refresh my memory.
This is Squidward.
Squidward, okay, yes. He's they're all very energetic.
And this breakfast is only for resort guests.
Just like everything at Nickelodeon Hotel, the movie that we're about to see.
Right, you can't be off property and come here just for breakfast.
Correct. As far as the meet and greet goes, just the smaller characters come around to your table to actually take photos and meet and greet. The 2 big characters are off to the side, and that would be Mr. Krabs and the
Patrick
Star. Correct.
And we enjoyed having them come to our table. I mean, it wasn't like we were sitting very often. You know, we were trying to get the photos and video. But I think this is a great breakfast for kids.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, everybody seemed to have a good time, and that's what it's all about, you know.
And we're going to head over to...
Oh, there's another character.
That is Sandy Cheeks.
Sandy Cheeks, yes. How can I forget Sandy Cheeks?
So the breakfast buffet, there is no area that is duplicated. This is the pastry area where you might have muffins and little croissants.
Here's a carving station here. Also a make-your-own omelet. Well, not really make your own. You order it, and they will make it for you.
And I believe they'll do that with eggs also. I didn't do that. And that's my plate. I had some fresh fruit and
your
bacon
plate looks
eggs.
really good, and you have some of that green slime up there in honor of Nickelodeon.
A little bit of green Jell-O. I mean, if you see Jell-O in the buffet, you have to grab it.
And there is my freshly made hot omelet, which I would highly recommend.
Everything we had was really good, and there was really a wide selection on the buffet, including this
SpongeBob waffle.
And that was good too. And
yes,
they had,
how could you not love a SpongeBob waffle?
And there's also, if you have a birthday, this very nice cupcake.
And complete with Nickelodeon green slime
and
there.
Worms.
Yummy worms. It was also the world premiere of this brand new movie.
SpongeBob SquarePants 4D, The Great Jelly Rescue.
Yes, and it's a 4D movie with many cool special effects. Probably one of the best 3D type 4D type movies I've ever seen, honest ever.
And again, this is something for guests of the resort. And SpongeBob SquarePants made an appearance.
Yes, they rolled out the orange carpet for us. And also, while we were there, we had a chance to interview Mark Cornell, SimEx Iwerks Entertainment Senior Vice President of Attraction Development, and here he is.
I'm Mark Cornell. I'm the Senior Vice President of Attractions Development for SimEx Iwerks Entertainment.
And what did you do specifically as far as the new SpongeBob SquarePants 4D film?
So let's talk about that a little bit. So today's the world premiere of SpongeBob SquarePants 4D, The Great Jelly Rescue. And this is a partnership between three entities: SimEx Iwerks Entertainment, Super 78, who's the actual animator and creator, and then Nickelodeon, who is the home of SpongeBob, and that's where we work with Nickelodeon on their intellectual property. So these three parties came together to produce this movie. From storyline to animation to the distribution of this film, these three parties serve that entity. SimEx Iwerks' role here is to distribute the film. This month we have 6 locations that very proud to launch SpongeBob in: United Kingdom, Spain, Las Vegas, New England, and right here at Nickelodeon Hotel in Orlando, Florida.
And at all the other locations, do they have the same 4D theater setup as here?
SimEx has built 340 attractions around the world. We distribute films to about 150. In our network of attractions, there are many theaters just like this, fully equipped with 4D special effects.
We gotta say, we really love the special effects. We've been in 4D theaters before, but I think this is one of the most fun ones with all the different effects that there are.
They got me a couple of times, especially the perfume.
The perfume
was great.
It has so many gadgets between, leg ticklers and neck air, and water mist and bubbles and overhead water drop. The scents, I think, are amazing. There's something about smelling what you're seeing on screen, and this sort of really brings things to life. Very immersive.
And do you know about how many 4D effects go into one of these films?
I would say this theater has nearly 20 special effects that are either lighting or bubbles. I don't like to give them all away, so we can.
No,
make
you
some
don't
surprises.
want to, of course.
But we understand there's 3 different endings, or similar endings to the film.
There is the outcomes. The film was designed to have multiple outcomes.
And how long does it take to create one of these films?
From start to scratch, 18 months is the preferred time. It can be done in a year, but we really wanted this. This is an important. SpongeBob is so important, so we needed the extra time to do this right. And as you can see, the end result is magnificent.
It really is.
Last Saturday, we were invited to the Kennedy Space Center for our first ever media event.
And this was for the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame induction ceremony But we were going to first talk about, we also were invited to check out the Atlantis exhibit, which opens on June 29th.
Right, we had a nice hard hat tour, a very, very detailed hard hat tour. We only thought we were going to be briefly brought in for a few minutes, and we were in there for a good hour.
And the Atlantis Space Shuttle, it's going to be a tremendous exhibit, 90,000 square feet, and it was still wrapped at the time we were there.
Actually, right now, today, as we record the show, it is being unwrapped. We're recording on Thursday, so it's see how it's wrapped, sort of like shrink wrapped.
And it was so cool. It was so cavernous in there. It reminded me of the old Louvre in Paris.
Oh yeah, it's just amazing. There is so much. There's just so many exhibits they're going to be having, and the space shuttle underneath that wrap is in the same condition as it was when it landed from its last mission.
Which I like. I mean, they're not cleaning it up at all, so you're going to see what it looked like, when the astronauts left it.
It's very, very exciting. I can't wait to see it. And what she's showing you now is there's a giant screen, multimedia screen behind the shuttle, which will show a starfield effect. The shuttle's going to be open, so it's really, unlike other museums, it'll look like it's actually in space. So our guide is showing us here where the interactive displays are going to be that we just saw in the concept art. So it'll be right there, and you'll be able to actually affect things on the shuttle.
And the whole exhibit, it tells a story of the space shuttle program through simulators and interactive experiences. And we were told it could take 1 hour to 3 hours to go through the entire exhibit.
Or longer, depending on your interest level. I mean, you could spend the whole day there if you really wanted to. And this is the backside of shuttle.
A little Jungle Cruise reference there.
Yes, but look at these giant arms holding up the shuttle.
I believe the shuttle is actually about 150,000 pounds, so
very heavy.
Very heavy. And I believe it took a couple of weeks for it to actually get off the ground little bit by little bit. They inched it up.
Yeah, all the details will be in the actual video. Be sure to, if you're interested, be sure to check out the video of our hard hat tour. And there's lots of details, and our guide tells much information about this upcoming attraction. So.
It's hard to believe that it's been almost 2 years since the final shuttle, Atlantis, the final space shuttle mission ended July 21st, 2011.
Yeah, it's actually very sad that there's no way for American astronauts to get into space without going to another country right now.
I hope that will be different in the future.
The main reason we were actually there was for the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Kurt Brown, Eileen Collins, and Bonnie Dunbar were all inducted, and this was the first time ever that 2 women were inducted at the same time.
And it was very exciting. This is where they introduced sort of like a all-star of astronauts, former astronauts. There's Buzz Aldrin
and
there.
These are all members of the Hall of Fame inducted previously.
It was really an honor to be there, and I enjoyed it very much.
It was like a roast. It was really, these are like family members, and you had people like Hoot Gibson here, astronauts, who would introduce, let's say, Bonnie Dunbar, Kurt Brown. He introduced Kurt Brown.
Yes, they were all introduced by other members, and Hoot Gibson was truly a hoot.
He was so funny.
He was funny. It was almost, I kept thinking that he had a professional writer, because it was hysterical, some of the remarks. It was like a roast. But here it is. There is the entire class, at least the class that came out, the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame.
And we have interviews with all 3 astronauts who were inducted.
Right. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to the interviews and also, again, the Hard Hat Tour. And we'll have much more from Kennedy Space Center coming up in future shows. All right, and now our good friend Josh from Theme Park University is here to fill us in on the latest with Hard Rock Park.
Well, thank you very much. We've been doing an extensive series on Hard Rock Park. We're really the only place on the web, or on the planet for that matter, that has this much information on the park. We went through a lot of trouble finding concept artwork that was never used for Hard Rock Park. There was going to be a Route 66 attraction. There was going to be a Hot Rod Lincoln attraction, and some other stuff we'll talk about later. But I got a chance to sit down with John Benkowski, who was the Chief Creative Officer of the park, and he created everything that you see in the park. Granted, he had a team of people, but the whole thing really came from his head. So I got a chance to sit down and talk with him 5 years later after the park is closed, and got his thoughts on everything. But we have a very extensive series about how all the rides were created, all the lands, how they got all the contracts, and we also go into why the park closed. We go into an entire article about what really worked for the park, and then we go into an article about what didn't work for the park. And solid reasons why they had to close their doors. So very extensive work.
Banana Splits.
Yeah.
What do you think? You remember them, Denise?
No, I don't remember them.
Yeah, they were popular back in the 70s, and they had a whole Banana Splits land that was at the park. So yeah, that was very, very cool.
I love characters, so this would be right up our alley.
Yeah, and those characters are kind of themed like the band Kiss, and there was going to be a whole Kiss land at Hard Rock Park. This was the Bump and Kiss bumper cars. So they were going to have a place where you could have the whole family have their faces painted like Kiss. You could have a Kiss restaurant. They're going to have a Kiss dark ride. Whole Kiss section. Gene Simmons actually toured the park and said, why can't this whole place be themed to the band Kiss? Because you know him, he wanted everything to be Kiss.
I would have loved it.
Yeah, and that was going to be their next huge expansion into the park. So, we've got a lot of exciting things coming up. We're going to do a pop quiz, the first pop quiz from Theme Park University. We're going to talk about the lessons learned from Hard Rock Park, and we're going to give away some of the park's original maps that you can't get anymore. They're now collector's items. So
Did you bring us one?
I did not, because you haven't answered the pop quiz yet. So if you answer them correctly, we'll see if we can get you a map. And then coming further into, after we get out of the Hard Rock Park series, we got a lot to go with the Hard Rock Park series. We can do a lot of stuff afterwards, and we will come back around to it. But we're also going to do some exciting stuff in Islands of Adventure, the park that you never got to see. We got a lot of exciting, exclusive concept artwork that nobody's ever seen before.
I've seen it.
He's seen it, but nobody else has.
It's good.
I saw a little
It's
bit of
good
it, too.
stuff. You will need to come and see this.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Blew
That's
my
gonna be a
mind.
huge.
Yeah, nobody's ever seen it before. So we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
All right. Well, sorry. The time is going by real quick again, but thanks to Josh for stopping by and to our sponsors, Theme Park Connection in Winter Garden, Florida.
And Maple Leaf Tickets in Kissimmee, Florida.
So we will see you all next week.
Have a great week.
Bye.